Hi everyone, this is Ryan from renewedhealth.com. Hope you are well. I'm really excited to talk to you today about a personal purchase that we've decided to make of an infrared sauna. Now, I'll just tell you flat out, I've wanted a sauna for a long time, and I'm really glad that I waited because I would have made a mistake years ago. And I'm just going to tell you flat out, my personality is to do extensive research on things before I purchase them. And sometimes that research can be excessive. And this is a situation where I've probably spent a couple hundred hours in researching saunas. And I'm thrilled to be able to talk to you today about a Heavenly Heat FIR-1 sauna. Okay. So let me talk with you a little bit quickly about the sauna industry. So what you're going to find in the United States as you're doing research in saunas is that almost all of them are made in China at a handful of different factories. Now, that's not inherently problematic. It is a challenge from a quality standpoint, I will tell you flat out. Even the higher end saunas, so certainly the ones that you're going to find at Costco and places of that sort, they're all going to be Chinese made. Even some of the top brands, for instance, Clearlight, good company. Radiant Health Saunas, another good company. Those saunas are made in China. And the difference is that almost all those saunas are put together using press boards. In other words, they'll take the frame and put nice looking wood on the outside that they'll extol the virtues of that particular wood, but on the inside they're loaded with glue. They're glued together into these panels that are going to be pretty thin. They're not going to be very much actual wood. It'll be cheap board in between, glued together, sandwiched with a nice veneer on the inside and a nice veneer on the outside. The other thing about these Chinese saunas is that they use these carbon panel heaters. And this is really confusing. I'm just going to tell you flat out, I spoke with multiple people about this that extolled the virtues of these carbon panels. These carbon panels are they're like a plasticky, flimsy material that have carbon sprayed on it that are largely plastic. Now, one of the challenges with those heaters, yes, many companies extol the virtues of their spectrum of heat, the far infrared being in a certain wavelength, so many microns, etc. Those panel heaters are really, really large. Most of them cover the entire inside of the sauna. Challenge is that oftentimes there's not enough concentration of that heat to get you a therapeutic dose to create enough intensity of heating. Most of the saunas on the market also don't have heaters in the front of you. So you might have them on the back, you might have them on the side, you might have them underneath your legs where your calves would be, but most of them don't have any significant level of heating on the front side of the torso, which is problematic as well. Yeah, and on top of that, those carbon heaters have all sorts of plastics inside of them that are heating up and emitting as well. All right, enough said. You can find decent brand carbon panel heaters and decent products on the market. I'm just telling you flat out, the Chinese products in general, almost all use that, and it's in my opinion, it's not because it's a superior technology. I believe it's because of a cost situation. Okay, I think it's a profit margin scenario. So you're going to find all the companies that sell those, which is the majority of saunas on the market, are going to talk to you about how these carbon panels are way superior to any kind of ceramic or rod type of heater. That those ceramic or rod heaters, or the traditional, or the old school heaters, they'll be too intense or too hot. You'll have hot spots. The system's turning off. You get cold and you get hot. You won't be able to get comfort. It's BS. It's marketing BS. I'm just going to tell you flat out. It's not true about a good, well-designed, traditional infrared sauna. So I'm going to take you into this particular product here in a second. All right. So Heavenly Heat, a little bit of backstory on these folks. So these guys have been around for well over 30 years. They are all made in the United States. The lumber's made in the United States. The glass is made in the United States. All the cabling, all the wiring, that's all made in the United States. The actual control panel itself is made in Canada, and then the far infrared heaters on the inside are made in South Korea. Okay, so nothing Chinese about it. Maybe a knob here and there kind of situation, but it is a, for all intents and purposes, it is a United States built sauna with majority United States components to it. I'm also going to take something here as well. This Heavenly Heat's been known for years as making saunas for folks with really challenging health situations. Major chemical sensitivities, children with autism, people with significant disease states that can't tolerate the emissivity of different compounds. In other words, plastics, veneers, glues, off-gassing. Some folks, look, if you're challenged in your health situation, you may have real big issues and sensitivities where other folks just don't have any challenge with it at all. So these guys are known as the premium standard. In fact, Jenny McCarthy bought one of these years ago from Bob Morgan, the owner of Heavenly Heat. So she was real big in the natural health community for a while and did a lot of stuff with autism. Look, that's controversial here and there. I'm not going to get into that with you guys, but needless to say, this was the choice of her. All right, let me take you into a couple of the features here on this particular sauna. So number one, the glass panels are all tempered glass. Even the fixtures, brass. It's a brass fixture for the door. The hinges are all brass. There's no plastic, nothing of that sort whatsoever. The actual windows themselves, there's no rubber gaskets on these. These are made out of poplar wood to seal in the windows. So little things like that. This sauna is put together with significant steel screws. You can see this here. Okay, these aren't these walls are thick. I mean, I'm just going to tell you flat out. Like when you get these walls, this. Let's see here. Give you an idea. It's that thick. Okay, this isn't these cheap, like thin little panels. This is substantial wood. It's all framed 100% out of poplar. Poplar is white aspen, I think you'll call it. It's a great choice for sauna. They don't finish the outsides of these things. Okay, they don't finish the insides of these things. It's untreated wood, so you don't have to worry about any coating or stain or varnish or anything of that sort whatsoever. This is the way you get it. I'm going to tell you, I think this sauna is built like it's 1960, and I think of that as a good thing. In other words, there's not a lot of bells and whistles. It's built like a tank. It's solid. I would buy this again, just to be flat out. I would absolutely buy this particular product again. Even you can see down here this small vent. This small vent is actually made to bring in fresh air into the sauna. It's made out of metal. It's not, it's not nothing fancy looking. It is a metal air vent to allow fresh air to circulate into the sauna when you're in there. All right, let's take you over on the side. I'm going to show you. So when this sauna comes in, this is a panel. This is a panel. Okay, these have to be put together. This is a large panel as well. You can see these stainless steel clamps. Okay, definitely are some screws. You need a power screwdriver to put this together, but you can see these stainless steel clamps that largely put together big sections of it, so you don't have to screw together everything. That makes it a lot more convenient. All right, so let's talk about another design flaw in most infrared saunas on the market. Most infrared saunas on the market have all sorts of goofy stuff like Wi-Fi for your cell phone to power into the audio system in your sauna. Guys, if you're trying to avoid like EMFs and ELFs and things of that sort, and you're putting Wi-Fi into your sauna and you're gonna be sitting in there with it broadcasting, doesn't even make sense. We certainly, all of us could benefit from having less exposure to EMFs. Putting Wi-Fi into your sauna doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay. These systems don't have that. Now we got two features on this that I had added onto this. We have two small speakers, which I'll take you inside here and show, but they're not powered through Wi-Fi. In fact, this system doesn't even come with a radio. You can buy an amp and put it on. They'll tell you which one to purchase for like $25 off of Amazon or some flea market website like that. You can buy an amp and you just plug in your cell phone right into the amp, and it runs right into the speakers without any Wi-Fi. Great feature. That option's like $100 or something like that. It's not much, and it's for all honesty, it's a pretty simple thing to add on to the sauna when you purchase it. So I watch YouTube broadcast. I listen to podcasts while I'm there. Try to use this as kind of a moment to do some learning and kind of catch up on things through the course of the day. And I'll show you how I do that setup here in a second. The other feature we had added on was a near-infrared option as well, near-infrared heat lamp. It's totally different than the near-infrared panels that I've showed you, the red light panels. This is majority heat lamp additional add-on with some spectrum of light, but it's nowhere near the level of therapeutic dosage that you would get, nor do they advertise it that way either. So I'll take you into that here in a little bit as well. So that's a nice add-on that I would also choose to do again as well. All right, let's take you into the actual design of this sauna. Most saunas on the market, look, the question is, do you get one person, two person, three person? For us, we realized, you know what? It's going to be unlikely that we're going to pile the whole family in together. It's going to be unlikely that my beautiful wife, Tracy, and I get into the sauna on the regular basis together either. There's just too much stuff going on. And a one-person sauna is going to heat up quicker. So it's going to, the heat up time is going to be an issue with any sauna. A larger sauna is going to take longer. Secondly, a larger sauna is going to have less proximity of your body to the actual heaters itself. So how much intensity, how much actual direct heating, how much exposure to the heaters do you actually have in a one person versus a two person? The average two person, it's significant. Now, as I said before, most one person saunas aren't thought out very well as far as the seating configuration. Most of them have the door in the front, the bench directly behind the door, heater behind you, heater on the side, heater in front of your, behind on the back side of your legs as well. And again, it leaves your body largely exposed. All right, the far infrared 1, totally different setup. Number one, this being the front of the sauna, you don't sit directly behind it. I don't know why, other than just laziness, that engineers and other companies haven't figured this out, but you walk in the door and you sit to the side, okay? Now, that being said, your heaters, this would be where your left leg would be sitting right here. You got a heater behind your leg, but you've got major heaters forcing in on the actual sauna itself. So you could probably see that. Let me open the door here so you can take you in a little bit. This heater right here that you're seeing, this is a 23-inch heater from the ground all the way up to basically my waist level. There's two of them, one for each leg, 23 inches. These are 300 watts each, okay? So as far as just the simple wattage goes, the power output for this sauna, this is a one-person sauna, and you're looking at like 1,600 watts plus of regulated heat out of these 6 different heaters. Now, any heat that's above your head doesn't make any sense. So if you see a sauna where it's got the panels that go all the way up to the roof, who cares? That doesn't help you. You want the heat where your body is actually concentrated, which is why these heaters don't go up further. No one's knee is going to be taller than this. Okay? So, all right, so that's the left side of the sauna. Tracy, why don't you come on in here? I'm going to actually take you into the sauna itself. You're going to notice a large 18-inch heater on the side. And on this side, you're going to see the same thing as well. On the back side of the sauna, you're going to see another 23-inch tall near-infrared heater. And on the bottom, down where your feet would be, let's see if there's any good way for us to do this, you're going to see a heater that's running side to side. Okay, and that's another roughly 18-inch wide heater as well. Okay? All right. Now, you're wondering, what are these little circles on the tops of the heaters? These are metal. These aren't plastic. These aren't, some kind of composite or something of that sort. They're probably stainless steel. There's heaters, holes here on the side. You'll see a big one on the wall over there. These holes are allowing the heat that's inside the wall cavity to escape up into the cavity of the sauna itself. Okay? Now, if you've ever wondered about these carbon panel heaters that you'll see on the market for these other bigger brand companies, there's emission of heat on both sides. So you've got the panel on the inside of the wall. Some heat's going in into the actual cavity itself. Some heat's just going directly into the wall. Most of these companies will use like a tin foil kind of material and put it on the back side of the heater itself to minimize that issue, but they're still directly heating into the glued-in cavity of the wall. They can talk about non-toxic glues and things of that sort. We all know what BPA-free plastic means. It's not a great idea either. It's got BPA-2.0 or 3.0 or whatever, things we don't even know. So look, non-toxic glues, I'd rather have no glues in a sauna like this where everything is screwed together, not held together by glue. The inside of these heaters, every single one of them has a metal, like basically a metal framing, a shielding that goes around the actual element itself. Okay, and that metal shielding brings the heat directly in. It's a reflector. It's an encasement. It brings that much more efficient utilization of energy into the cavity itself. And the part that gets behind it, or the metal shielding itself that warms up, again, those holes on the top side allow that to come out, that to admit into the actual cavity of the heater itself. So just engineering-wise, guys, that just makes, I'm not an engineer, but I look at things through the lens of an engineer and think, is this well and properly designed? That's a great setup, okay? As far as the spectrum of light, the majority of this, spectrum of light, let me say this. Far infrared is a wavelength of light. Pretty much the sun from, the heat from the sun, that's a wavelength of light that comes in. Far infrared, comes in different microns of emissivity. These are going to be like that 2 to 14 micron, with probably most of it being like around 6 microns in emission. There's going to be some mid-infrared heat that's going to come out of these as well, but a majority of it's going to be in that kind of spectrum. Okay? But as far as your body's ability to absorb in and to utilize this, none of these heaters are going to get so hot that they're going to burn you or anything of that sort, nor are they so weak that you get cold or anything of that sort. You can set this up appropriately on the inside. Okay? All right. Let's take you into the actual sauna itself. And they bring, with these saunas, on the FIR-1, they give you a nice kind of movable poplar footrest. I put a large towel down on top of that. I take a large towel and I put it underneath the seat of it, so, because you're going to drip. You are absolutely going to drip. And then I'm bringing a large washcloth as well. Clearly I have a rug here as well. And I throw my flip-flops right here. That way when I get out of the sauna, I'm toweling off, drying off, and putting my flip-flops on. I'm going straight into a cold shower afterwards. That way you're not going to ruin your carpet and trail it in. This is my bedroom. And actually this setup actually worked really nicely, but to give you an idea of the space that we had, this was the most convenient place we could put it in our home. So you could certainly put it in a garage or something of that sort, but this is where ours has gone. All right, control panel. You got an on and off switch. You got a timer as well. You got a control, and just have it set very low right now so I can have the light on the inside of it as well. But this, this will climb really high, and you can boost the temperature up on this bad boy a good bit. It's not going to get up into, it's not going to get that hot. This at the very most that I've gotten it right now has been about 150, which is really, really hot for an infrared sauna. And I'm going to tell you flat out, I enjoy the sauna at the YMCA or at a spa or those places up to 200 degrees. You cannot handle this sauna at that level of temperature. It's totally different. You're not heating just the air. You're heating the body, the water molecules underneath the skin, and it causes you to profusely sweat in a very different kind of way. You can also set this thing on a delay and have it scheduled to turn on at a particular time every day. So you could have it preheated and set if you're going to regularly use sauna at a particular time, to where you're not having to worry about having set it up. You'll probably want to have it the FIR-1 set for 20 minutes, 25 minutes beforehand. I typically set it about 115 or so when I get in, maybe 120 when I get in, and then I set the temperature higher. That boost it up to about 135, maybe 140-ish, and then go at it for 25, 30 minutes or so, and that's about all you can handle, that kind of temperature. You want to set it lower and stay in there longer, you can certainly do that as well. Last night I did, I think, 50 minutes in there, like 125 or so, something of that sort. But that's the control panel, really nice, great little, great easy to use, accessibility, etc. All right, Tracy, if you can come around the side here and peer into the window, I'm going to show you. All right, as you can see from the inside, I've got plenty of space. Now, I'm not a large guy. Put this in perspective. I'm about 5'8", and so when I'm sitting in the inside, I've got plenty of room for my legs. There's no concern here about being a really large person or really tall or anything. You're going to have plenty of ability to kind of move around on the inside. If you've got claustrophobia problems, it's not going to be an issue for you in this particular sauna. In fact, for myself, I probably wish it was a little bit smaller. I probably would take this thing in about 3 inches or so. You know, it might have been a little bit better for my bedroom, but look, it's a great layout from a physical floor plan standpoint. Now, the light that you're going to see on the inside, it's made out of steel and glass. Okay, there's no fancy diode LED thing in the top or anything of that sort, which you see a lot on the market. This is again, 1960-ish kind of steel structure with a heavy glass, lens around the outside of it. Every sauna on the market should have a vent to allow the sauna to vent out air. You don't want to be breathing your own filth. As you're detoxifying in a sauna, look, you're going to have gases coming off you. Now, this is very simple. It is a wooden poplar piece that has a slot that opens up into 2 holes. Now, on the top of this, there's a carbon filter, okay? It's a stainless steel screen that has a carbon on the inside of it. You slide it in the top, it clamps into place. The air coming out of the top of it has carbon on it to capture chemicals, capture stink that you're going to be having come off yourself. So it's going in your room. You don't have the other person or yourself later breathing those toxins. It's being captured by a carbon filter on the outside. Again, no plastics. It's steel with carbon on the inside of it. Okay, that's pretty unique. Those replacement filters are really affordable too. I think maybe like $25 or something like that for those carbon filters. It should be last a good long while as well. Okay. All right. Let's take you into the actual sauna here again. I'm going to show you. I hate to be walking here with shoes, but I put shoes on to look nice for you guys today. All right, so if you can take a look on the inside, you'll see it's a removable backrest. And so that way you get some space, set yourself comfortable. I took a small little hook and I put it in the top up here so I can hang a sauna hat so I don't have my hair drying out every single time that I take a sauna. And you can see the 2 speakers that I have installed. These are the only thing that are plastic. These are like a marine grade kind of plastic scenario, and they're pretty small speakers. It's adequate, sounds decent. If you're really into music, aficionado, and not doing podcast, I don't know, maybe you'd want to put in a higher quality speaker. But they're up at the top as well. There's no direct access to heat anywhere close. This will be the closest heater, so you're not going to be likely off-gas. And if you're worried about that, then don't put in the speakers. Okay. The other option I'm going to show you up here is this is the near-infrared heating option as well. If you didn't purchase that, this would just be solid. Okay. Up underneath this metal grating is, I think, a 175 watt red heat lamp. Okay. Now, this emits near-infrared. It's not going to be coming into your eyes because it's above you, and it's really going to be coming directly on your chest onto your lap. Now, you're going to notice on the side a metal switch. Okay. This isn't some plastic switch, it's just a metal toggle switch, and it is going to turn on this additional 175 watts or so of near-infrared direct heat. Okay, not far infrared, near-infrared. All right, so why would you get the near-infrared heater? Near-infrared, at that kind of intensity, those heat lamps, again, it's not a LED panel, those will actually cause you to sweat deeper. It'll cause you to sweat, quicker. So if you really want to boost up, 1,600 watts of heat is way more than what most one-person saunas on the market are putting out, especially when you're talking about concentrated heat into the torso, into your legs, into your body, not over your head, but directly in your body. That's a lot. But if you put that bad boy on, it's going to cause you to, go very quickly and sweating. Okay, so that's why we did it. You can turn it off, you can turn it on. You can replace the bulb if you need to in the future. This up here, you'll see, it just directly pulls directly off, and you can access it, and it's, again, it's shielded. All right, yeah, let's talk about EMF. Let's talk about electromagnetic frequencies and ELF as well. Now, this is why I'm so glad that I waited. We've learned things in the recent years in the last 6 or 7 years, it's not just EMF, it's also ELF. There's a lot of companies out on the market that talk about how their saunas are low in EMF or low ELF. Most of them are full of it. Just to tell you flat out, I've seen a lot of people, a lot of companies that have claimed to be low EMF and low ELF, and they're tested, and they're problematically high. You want to raise your chances of getting different types of cancer and stuff of that sort. Regularly expose yourself to those. Look, don't freak out about it, but don't needlessly expose yourself by sitting in a sauna for 30, 40 minutes a day that has high EMF. I would not trust anything coming out of any big box store, anything on Amazon right now, flea market type sales like the websites like Amazon.com. Wouldn't trust it. Don't trust any of them if they said these are low EMF. There's a gentleman by the name of Oram Miller, who's an expert in EMF and ELF and basically a pollution electricity. And he has tested this particular sauna from Heavenly Heat and worked directly with Bob Morgan, who already had really put a lot of technologies into these things to minimize the damages, the potential implication of EMF. And Oram reached out back 2015 or so and worked with Bob and said, hey, look, we've discovered things recently that can make your saunas even cleaner. And these test out some of the lowest. And I actually think Oram's. We'll post a link to his website on there. You can check it out as well. But only about 3 or 4 brands on the market would he even recommend from a usage standpoint. So I'm going to show you on these systems why it is so low, because they use shielded cabling on the insides of all these. So it's metal line wiring and heavy-duty wiring as well. So let's come in. I'm going to take the seat off and show you exactly what we're talking about. All right. So if you notice on the bottom here, this is pretty simple. This will come directly off, and you can access in and see we have on the side here, I mean, we're talking heavy-duty plugs. These cables are not your typical kind of pliable kind of cables. This is your main power line. This thing is not flexible, and it's not bendable. The outlets themselves, actually all 3 of these over here are all metal. This one is not metal, and I don't really know why, but you can see the backside of this particular heater underneath your ankles as well. Let's try to take you in. You can see the metal framing of this heater, so it's not reflecting any of the heat in here. Okay, this is pretty much it, guys. Underneath here, pretty straightforward. You can see how the different heaters plug in. You've got a main power line that comes off, but this is again, these are grounded. These are ELF and EMF shielded, and we'll post a link for you there as well. I'll put this back together later. All right, let's take you around the side and show you how the audio system would work. So, they're going to provide for you a link to purchase a small, inexpensive amplifier. This is a Li-Pi, okay? There's an outlet for you to plug this directly into. You get a large cable for your phone. You plug your phone into this. You power on the switch. Audio goes directly into the speakers, and if you want to take a little suction cup device, or you might even be able to put your tablet up here, you can put a screen, have your audio playing in there, and you can watch your movie or whatever you want to do without any concern for that as well. All right, we'll put that back up there. Now, let's see here what else I've got to make mention of as well. So, boy, oh boy, folks, I think we're covering a lot of ground here for you. You can do a couple things. If you want less glass, you can have no glass on the side there. Get about no glass here. You can keep it standard like we've got it set up as well. You can do a couple different options. You can get casters put on this, so if you wanted to put it in a garage and move it on occasion, you could certainly do that as well. That is an additional option. I'm trying to think here if we've got any other questions for you. Oh, yeah, let's talk a little bit about air coming in. So as you're sweating profusely in these situations, you definitely want to have heavy towels underneath you. You're going to want to get a whole separate laundry basket so you can have your towels going into that laundry basket and getting them cleaned. I would not use your regular bath towels because you're going to be sweating out toxins out in a sauna like this. They're going to be deep-seated. If you've got heavy metal issues, you may want to use a binder as well, to use those regularly as they're circulating and breaking up in your body to get those, to bind to those heavy metals and get them out. So if you're using a sauna regularly and you're getting just bad, you're not feeling well afterwards, and you've got amalgam fillings, you had exposure to heavy metals or something of that sort, just be careful. Monitor yourself, use binders and things of that sort to help remove some of those heavy metals out. The air coming into these saunas is going to be important. So you're going to have fresh air coming in, and you've got the vent where you're going to allow air to come out. I'd recommend actually leaving the vent open when you're in the sauna. I think that's important because it's going to allow the heaters to stay on consistently throughout the course of the heating. Once your temperature on your control panel hits a certain spot, it's not going to allow it to go over that. So it's going to turn off the heaters, allow the temperature to stabilize at that point, and then at some point they're going to come back on to keep it back up. If you keep the vent open and you set it lower than what you'd want it before you get in, then you're going to have the heaters running up in your entire cycle. You have the air circulation coming out of the vent as well, and you're going to get regular exposure to the far infrared throughout your entire session. Okay, that'd be the way that I would do it. All right, folks, I'm doing this review for you not because I'm paid by Heavenly Heat or anything of that sort. They didn't give me this sauna for free and anything of that sort. I'm doing this review because when I went to buy one of these saunas, I was really frustrated with the lack of pictures and reviews and information on this particular sauna. So I'm hoping that this can be helpful for you. You can always call us. You can call me directly on our phone number on our website. Make sure you hit like on the subscribe button as well. But if you have questions about this sauna, why we didn't buy another particular unit or whatever, call me. I'm happy to talk with you as well. Hopefully you'll buy something from me at some point in the future. But we're not selling these saunas. But I do feel confident in telling you, look, it's only a couple good sauna brands on the market. The only other one that I would tell you that I actually kind of thought was a pretty nice design as well is the High-Tech Health Sauna. It's another, another element type of heater based. But that one person on theirs only has 3 heaters, where this has 6 heaters. It's also a little bit more expensive than what this is, ballpark about the same price. I don't have direct hands-on experience with that. But this one I do, and again, I would tell you flat out, I really think this is a superior design, and the seating, the seating configuration, the heater aspects, the quality of build construction, and I'll tell you flat out, Bob Morgan is fantastic to work with. When you get the sauna in the mail, it's going to be a large, heavy pallet that a freight company is going to come and deliver. You need to plan on having a Saturday or so to put this together. You're going to want to have a buddy to help you put it together as well. It took my wife and I roughly about 2 hours or so to put this together from a perspective. So look, I hope that helps. It's a real pleasure speaking with you. And if you have any questions, give me a call. And have a great day. And again, Ryan from Renewed Health.